Okay, to start things off, I just want to congratulate the Los Angeles Lakers for becoming the 2020 NBA champions, taking out the Miami Heat in 6 games, dethroning the Raptors. But now comes the real question for the Toronto Raptors and every other team, going into next season, and that's who are you going to try and sign that's going to make your team better? As you can see on the screen, we got the top 30 players available in the 2020 free agency market, and Anthony Davis, realistically, even though he's there, he just won a championship, so I don't see him going anywhere. But we're just gonna scroll through and just see who's available, and if we see anyone potentially available for the Raptors that makes sense as a signing, we're definitely gonna look into it. But yeah, Anthony Davis, 27 years old, making 27 million, more than likely gonna opt out. He'll probably get close to 40, unless he wants to take this player option to have more cap space to bring in another player that could potentially help them repeat. Brandon Ingram, that guy definitely deserves a max contract. Even though he didn't make the playoffs or anything, but he made a huge leap in his progression as a player. Only 23 years old. If the Raptors could steal him off in New Orleans, I would try to do that, but I know how Masai works, and he's trying to save that max money for Giannis for the upcoming year, not this free agency not this year, but the 2021 free agency market. He only made less than a little over 7 million, and he's a restricted free agent, so for him, he can get an offer from New Orleans, or if they want to wait it out, if another team gives him a certain offer, I believe New Orleans has like 3 days to match it, or he signs with that team, the other team. Fred VanVleet, steady Freddy. We already know he's a main priority for the Raptors. Masai Ujiri said that in his press conference. He's only 26 years old, making about a little over 9 million. Won an NBA championship on his new 2-year deal. Unrestricted free agent. Probably looking at close to a max, anywhere probably from 18 to 22 million. Seems about reasonable for him. But if someone desperate like the Knicks or the Pistons, who I've mentioned before in another video, if you haven't checked it already, take a look. But yeah, if the Knicks and Pistons don't get desperate, which is easier said than done, because they look like they're gonna throw the max at him, because they haven't been really able to attract anyone in the last I don't know how many years. But yeah, he's definitely a Raptors priority. But like I said, I don't see him going anywhere. And yeah, DeMar DeRozan, former Raptor, San Antonio, hasn't been the best place for him, even though he's averaged career high in field goal percentage and I believe in assists. 31, going towards the downhill side of his 30, downhill side of his career. He's still young, but he's looking at the latter end of his career. 27 million. Don't know if he's gonna opt into it, because I don't know if anyone's gonna give him any more money. Only team I could see doing that is maybe the Orlando Magic or the Charlotte Hornets. But that's a huge maybe. 28 million to turn down is a lot, but I still see some desperate teams like the Orlando Magic and Charlotte Hornets who would throw the kitchen sink at him and then some to bring him on board. Gordon Hayward, Boston Celtics. Unfortunately, we got injured after Game 1 against the Philadelphia 76ers in the bubble this season. He had like a grade 3 ankle sprain injury. Came back, I think, in Game 4 against the Miami Heat, but he wasn't himself, clearly, and they still lost in the conference finals. He's 30 years old, 32 million. That's a lot. I don't know if he's gonna turn that down. More than likely, he's gonna opt in Boston seems like a good place for him, and I don't see him leaving because he's had a good connection from college with Brad Stevens, and other than him getting traded, I see him finishing this contract off in Boston as long as he can stay healthy. Number 6, Montrezl Harrell. Rumors have it he wants to come to the Raptors. At least, I mean, you could see some of the stuff with his AAU team. He has a Raptors logo, the throwback Raptors logo. Not the throwback, but the era where we really sucked. That logo with just the Raptor claw itself. He's only 26 years old, making $6 million, unrestricted free agent. He's definitely going to get a payday. Probably won't be as much as he would have had if he had showed out in the playoffs. Obviously, he had his own issues, his grandma passing away and whatnot, so he was in and out of the bubble. And, you know, he did follow the Raptors. Don't know if he's going to come to the Raptors. Don't know if it's really good signing. But with Marc Gasol more than likely going to Barcelona, I don't see why we couldn't give him a shot or even look into it as long as he doesn't want a long-term deal. Masai Ujiri knows what he's doing, so he'll figure it out. But other than that, I see him probably getting signed by the Charlotte Hornets or the New York Knicks. Bogdan Bogdanovic, Sacramento Kings. I feel like $9 million. He'll probably get close to 15. He's only 28. I see Lakers maybe being able to sign him, or maybe a sign and trade with one of their players that they got. Maybe trade Kuzma for him. He is a restricted free agent, so the Sacramento Kings can match whatever offer another team offers him. Yeah, he doesn't play much defense, but he's definitely an amazing. He's a good passer, good facilitator, and definitely a good three-point shooter. Danilo Gallinari doesn't play much defense, but he's definitely a big forward, 6'10". He's 32, so he's on the latter side of his career, making $22 million. Probably going to opt out, unrestricted free agent. Don't mind the Raptors signing him, but he does have a connection with Masai from Denver. But if I were to pick a team that he would probably more than likely go to, I would say the Miami Heat, or maybe even back to the New York Knicks if they're desperate. I want the Raptors to sign him. He doesn't play much defense, but he's definitely a big forward that could play the 4 position, and he's a go-to scorer that we can use in crunch time. And he's a really, really good free throw shooter. Evan Fournier, another three-point shooter who plays solid defense. 27 years old, kind of fits with the Raptors timeline in terms of the young players like Pascal and Van Vliet and OG Anunoby. Definitely would be, he's a bigger guard, so he would definitely be a good shooter for the Raptors. But we'll see how much he costs. He's also another one of those Denver guys who Masai had a relationship with. He's owed $17 million. Don't think he's gonna get anything like that. I mean, if he's lucky, he might get $20 million, but I don't know if he has the cojones to opt out of that contract. He might want to finish it out with the Orlando Magic if he doesn't get any offers, obviously. But we'll see. Davis Bertans. Now, this guy, definitely atrocious on defense, but he's a marksman from 3. He shot close to 50%. DeRozan himself in a podcast with JJ Redick said that he's one of the best shooters he's ever seen. And he's also a bigger forward. He's like 6'10". Don't know why they have him playing at the center position at times, because he can't play defense for his life. He's more of a small forward, maybe a power forward if need be, but definitely his natural spot looks like it's a small forward because he's not a big dude, has 9 fingers, but he still shoots the lights out. Joe Harris. Raptors traumatized him to the point where he left the bubble after we went up 2-0, and he's 29 years old, still young, definitely a marksman from 3. But I feel like Brooklyn is gonna re-sign him because he's a good piece to put around their superstars in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who are returning this upcoming season, and they're definitely going to be a beast in the East. Jeremy Grant. Now, there's been rumors about him Basically, like the Raptors might be interested, but it doesn't look like Denver's going to let him go. He matches our timeline with Van Vliet and Siakam. He's only 26. He's making about what 10 million almost, a little over 9 million. Definitely going to opt out because he made his point in the uh, postseason, playing big against the Lakers. Sorry, not the Lakers, against the Clippers, and coming back or helping the team come back from that 3-1 deficit. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, he's like a Siakam, long, plays defense, can shoot the three at a decent rate, and yeah, if the Raptors could get their hand on him, I don't see why not. He's definitely a better option than Montrezl Harrell because he can at least shoot the three, and he plays elite defense. Montrezl Harrell doesn't play as doesn't play defense to that extent, but he's still young enough to learn. Andre Drummond, I might just skip him. I mean, he's a free agent. I'm gonna skip him, but he's 27 years old. He's making about 28 million. He's not gonna opt out of that. He's not making that kind of money if he opts out. No team's gonna offer him that because for one, he doesn't shoot the three. He does play decent. He does play defense, and his free throws have improved, but it's still pretty ass. Yeah, my thing just almost had like an exorcism. I got possessed by the Holy Ghost. But Tim Hardaway Jr., Dallas Mavericks, 28 years old, elite shooter, 18 million. Could get 20 million from a desperate team, which isn't that much off from what he's getting. He does like his teammates in Dallas, so he might end up opting in and staying with them to finish off his contract. Um, but hey, the Knicks got desperate and gave him away, then brought him back, and then gave him away. So who knows? They might be desperate to bring him back. He has become a better player than when he was with the New York Knicks. Charlotte Hornets could get him too. Marcus Morris, Los Angeles Clippers. Obviously, bittersweet ending to his into his season with the Clippers. 31 years old, definitely an amazing shooter from three. Can play defense, has that dog in him. Would love to bring him on the Raptors. He's making 15 million, obviously. I'm probably gonna ask for something a little bit more. Um, but I don't know if the Clippers are gonna bring him back or not. But I know there's other teams that are desperate to, get him. But we'll see. Raptors definitely. I hope he's an option and I hope he's on the Raptors' radar. Goran Dragic was rumored as one of those players that the Raptors might go for, even though he's 34 years old. In case they, you know, trade Lowry, which I don't think is gonna happen. But if they do, I don't know. Miami's gonna bring him back, especially with the fact that he got injured in the most important time of the season for them. He has been very injury prone throughout his career, and if Van Vliet walks from us, he might be a good replacement as a backup, especially to Larry because he got injured, so you don't want to bring him out and play too many minutes. But he's making 19 million, or he did this past season, so we'll see. Serge Ibaka, more than likely going to stay with the Raptors. 31 years old, on the latter end of his career. Still has a few, probably still has 3-4 more good years. As long as he can develop his 3-point shot at a consistent rate, I see him having a long, valuable, productive career. 23 million this past season. I think the Raptors, especially Masai and him, have a good relationship. I see them shaking hands and on a 1-year deal that's probably stupid money, anywhere from 28 to 30 million, something like what Lowry got, but maybe a little less. Christian Wood, I think he's staying in Detroit. I don't see why not. They gave him some playing time when Blake Griffin got injured, and when they got rid of Andre Drummond to Cleveland. He's 25 years old, still very young. Only made about a little less than 2 million. Probably gonna get something close to what Van Vliet got. That 2-year, $18 million deal, maybe with the Pistons. I don't see anyone giving him anything else more because he's not really on anyone's radar. Yeah, but I see the Pistons keeping him. Hassan Whiteside. Don't know what's gonna happen with him. With Nurkic back in Portland, he's very expendable now. The Raptors could use him, but he doesn't expand it. He doesn't shoot the three, even though he does it in practice, but he never does it in games. He's 31 years old. Just literally had $27 million. He made $27 million this season. Don't see him making that kind of money moving forward. But if the Raptors can get him on a short contract, especially if Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol are gone, I could see that happening. But I could see someone desperate like the New York Knicks, even though they have Mitchell Robinson, or the Charlotte Hornets. I can see them making a run for him. Otto Porter Jr. He's been injured a lot recently, especially in Chicago. He's 27 years old. Raptors had issues with him in 2015, and then we got a redemption in 2018 against that team, the Wizards, when he was on it. 27 million last season, or this past season. God damn. I don't see him making that kind of money moving forward, but he does have a player option. All right, never mind. He's not opting out of that. He got a stupid contract from Washington. I think Sacramento or somebody put some stupid price on him because he was a restricted free agent, and Washington matched it because they didn't want to give him up. And then they ended up trading him to Chicago. I think they traded him for Jabari Parker and Bobby Portis Jr., I think. Tristan Thompson, Canadian, 29 years old, made $18 million past season. After he won that championship with LeBron, he got him paid. Showed his value. One of the rare players that changed hands when he was shooting. He was left-handed originally, but they started shooting with his right. Put that work in. He's an amazing rebounder, and obviously rebounding was a weak point for us this season, or even the last couple seasons. So we could use his services as long as he works on his three. Would definitely be valuable. If he can get a consistent 3-point shot, I would definitely try to sign him, especially with, I know him and LeBron beat down the Raptors. Don't know if he has that love for the Toronto Raptors, but yeah, we'll see. He's definitely one of those guys on the radar. Paul Millsap, Denver, helped that Denver Nuggets team this season come back from that 3-1 deficit twice. The Clippers, Marcus Morris went in his face, and ever since then, that whole series flipped, and Paul Millsap was that veteran presence that the locker room needed for the Denver Nuggets, who helped them kind of push that series to 7 games and eventually get to the conference finals for the first time since since Carmelo did it in 2009. I don't see him leaving the Denver Nuggets, but I also don't see him making $30 million. So, I mean, Denver Nuggets will probably bring him back. He'll probably retire as a Denver Nugget. Probably has another 2 years left in his career. He's 35, so. Jay Crowder. Why does this thing keep twitching, bro? Jay Crowder did his thing in Miami this season since being traded from Memphis with the Andre Iguodala trade. He was in that package with Solomon Hill. Jay Crowder definitely did his thing. 30 years old. He's like a better version of DeMarre Carroll. Only made less than $8 million this year. Definitely made his money. He definitely proved his case that he's gonna make at least 15. He can make that Danny Green kind of money, like a 2-year, $30 million deal, double that salary from last season, and definitely another guy on the Raptors' radar. Don't know if Miami's gonna let him go, unless they go for Gallinari. They might do that, but the situation kind of feels familiar to like us Raptor fans. Like that year, DeMarre Carroll was with Kyle Korver, Jeff Teague, Al Horford, Paul Millsap. Everyone but DeMarre Carroll made that All-Star team that year. And, we got swept by Washington that previous summer. And then we signed DeMarre to like a 4-year, $60 million deal. And we thought he was like the LeBron stopper, Raptor savior. And he didn't do jack shit. I mean, we did make it to the conference finals, but he didn't end up being the guy that we thought he'd be. And I feel like the Raptors going for Jay Crowder might end up being like that too, because he was shooting horrible from three until he got to Miami. Jordan Clarkson, that's another good name. He's 28 years old. Utah Jazz more than likely are going to keep him because he was a good spark off their bench, and he's been playing lights out with them ever since coming from Cleveland. Um, Still young, 13 million. Does he have? He's an unrestricted free agent. Probably going to get that kind of money again. Um, but yeah, I mean, Raptors. There's been rumors about maybe the Raptors going for him. He's a shooting guard, combo guard that we can use off the bench, especially if they're going to get rid of Norman Powell. I feel like Norman Powell's time's coming up with the Raptors in the next 1 or 2 years. They might do a sign and trade if they do let him play out his contract this coming season. But yeah, Jordan Clarkson definitely somebody I could see being like a boost off the bench, like a six man like Lou Will or Jamal Crawford. Not saying Norman Powell's a bad player. Like I mean, he did his thing, but he kind of fell apart in that Celtics series. I mean, he had one good game in that overtime, but all over other than that, like I mean, he was pretty mediocre. Derek Favors, another big man the Raptors could look at if Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol both walk. But Serge Ibaka did say he wanted to stay with the Raptors, so as long as they can work something out with the 1 year deal, um, I don't see him leaving. But Derek Favors could definitely be. He's like a power forward center. He can shoot the three at times. If he developed that shot, he's still young enough. 29 years old. Made 16 million this past season, and I can see him making that kind of money again. But I can see the Pelicans signing him again. But there's also desperate teams. You know the desperate teams. I don't need to explain myself again and call them out. Malik Beasley, Minnesota traded for him. Obviously, he's an elite three-point shooter. He's only 23 years old. Only made 2.8 million, 2.7, a little over 2.7. I think Minnesota's going to re-sign him. Unless they get, I don't know if they get, I mean, unless they draft LaMelo Ball. They do a backcourt. LaMelo Ball and D'Angelo Russell. Kind of ironic that D'Angelo Russell's going to play with the ball after getting traded for a ball. But, oh, he's a restricted free agent. So I don't know if that's the team. It might be the team, right? So they might, yeah, so the team might just accept that qualifying offer and keep him for that 1 year on a cheap deal for less than $4 million. Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Clutch Sports, don't need to talk much about this. Just won a championship, did his thing in the finals, hit some big shots, big plays. Definitely think he's staying with LeBron in LA, especially with Danny Green playing like ass. You know, a lot of slander with Danny Green, but he came through for the Raptors in Game 3 of that finals, hit 6 threes. Thought he would have had a moment like that in the finals this year. Had some 10, 11-point games in the finals, but, you know, everyone talked shit about him because he missed that shot when he was wide open. I felt like he could have made one more pass to Caldwell Pope in the corner, which was his shot, because LeBron attracted like 4 guys into the paint. But that's here nor there. But yeah, Caldwell Pope, 27 years old. He's probably going to get another $10 million contract, maybe 12 million, maybe 15. I mean, he earned it, but he also has a player option. Probably going to opt out, and yeah, more than likely going to stay with the Raptors. I mean, the Lakers. Dario Saric, Phoenix Suns, very expendable for them. Doesn't play much defense. Does shoot the three well, and he's a pretty good passer. 26 years old, matches a young core. If the Raptors want to sign him, only making $3 million, restricted free agent, qualifying offer. Don't know if the team gets to choose that or if the player. But yeah, we'll see. Definitely another guy that could be on the Raptors' radar. Justin Holiday. Keep saying Raptors, but it's a true thing. You know, it's like we need bigger guys. One thing for us that we noticed a lot this year was the three-point shooting was horrible in the playoffs. Our three-point shooting from the regular season did not translate to the playoffs at all. In the Brooklyn series, it was up and down, but the Boston series is completely horrible. Justin Holiday could definitely help that. Dario Saric could definitely help that. And they're pretty decent defenders, I would say. Justin Holiday is a little bit older on the latter end of his career, 31 years old, only made about $5 million last season, unrestricted free agent with the Pacers. Don't know if they're going to bring him back. If they don't, I would Masai should go for him if he's available. It says right there, 40.5% on 4.5 tenths per game in 2019-2020 from the 3-point arc. And you saw some of the games he played against the Raptors. He was scorching hot. DJ Augustine, former Raptor. Raptors don't need a point guard, obviously. Had him at one point. Didn't work out. He was like a third string point guard. Mike signed back with the Orlando Magic. He's 32 years old. You know, some team without that kind of veteran experience with that, and not with enough guard play might want to pick him up. What the? That's a writing error. 2019 to 2029 salary. Nope, that's 2019 to 2020 salary, 7.25 million. Probably gonna get something like that, maybe even a minimum contract, because I don't see a lot of teams have guard play now, so I don't see it happening. Oh, and that's the 30th. That's the 30th guy. Another couple players I want to put in there for the Raptors, because I am a Raptors fan, so I'm always going to consistently and constantly talk about the Raptors. Aaron Baines, another big. Bismack Biyombo, another big. He's a fan favorite too, so there's another couple bigs out there. And obviously, Tristan Thompson, Dario Saric, Serge Ibaka, if you bring him back, maybe Marc Gasol change his mind, but it looks like he wants to go play in Barcelona with his family, especially with all the corrupted shit that's happening here in the States. He wants to stay close to family with the pandemic and all the racial injustice and all that. Social injustice, sorry. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. This was a lot longer. I had to go through the whole list from 1 to 30 of the top free agents available in the market for the 2020 free agency, time period. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I hope most of the people watching these videos of mine are Raptor fans. And if you guys have videos you want me to react to, or certain things you want me to look at, or certain players you want me to talk about, anything, just let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll be back soon with another video. But till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and please stay safe. Peace!